edition of Tiger Pride Sport Forum. We had a wonderful season this year. Again, we made it to the state championship. We didn't win it, but our guys fought valiantly out there. They did a fantastic job. We had a few things that just didn't go our way. Plus, we're playing a pretty good team, a really good team. So I know fans are disappointed. You know, you get disappointed, but you know, think back. It hadn't always been this way. We hadn't always been one of the premier teams in the state. And as of right now, regardless of classification, Knoxville County is well known all over the state for playing really good football and good sportsmanship too. You know, I can remember back when Dillon was playing, and we went to Itawamba to play. And Itawamba had a really good running back. I mean, he played at Mississippi State, but I can't remember his name right now. But he had long braids. But and I started reading the sport page afterward, and there was a guy that said, you know, I've heard all these negative things about Knoxville County. He said, but my son went up to Dillon Bradley and asked could he take a picture with him. And Dillon said, sure, come on over, and held him and took a picture with him. And also, you know, we see things like that all the time. My guys are really good guys. You know, we get a bad rap in Knoxville County. But Knoxville County is just like any other county. You know, there are some issues, but minor. I mean, well, I should say minor. I guess I should say the percentage-wise, they're kind of low, just like any other place. But we get a bad rap, and you know, there's probably a reason, but I'm not going to try to even go into the reason why we get a bad rap. But you know, we got a lot of good people. We just got to come together and eliminate some of the few small issues we got. A lot of it has to, there's layers of things that's got to be done if you really want a great county, a great school system. There's layers of things, so I'm not here to get into any of that, but just to keep the sport thing going, today we're going to have a coach that's going to come in and talk with us. There'll be some, he's basically going to tell his story, but he'll be able to, we're going to talk about his recruiting process, and because when he was recruited, things have changed so much. You got all kind of things now. You get more visits. They can do all kind of things now. And you got NIL, so guys can move around freely like they wasn't able to back in the days. You know, you signed with a school, you was pretty much locked there unless you wanted to sit out a year. But with the new rules, you know, if you're at a school and it's not working out for you, you can just leave. You know, hit the transfer portal and get out of there and go to, you know, a better place. But the process leading up to the commitment and the signing is a lot different than the way it used to be. And maybe Coach, I'll let him introduce himself, but he'll be able to maybe shed a little insight on that. So we're going to get ready to go with the coach. We're going to bring him in and let him introduce himself. And hopefully we're going to have some good conversation.
My name is Early Henley Jr., and I'm a big fan of Knoxville County, and I'm the mayor, current mayor of Brooksville, Mississippi.
My name is Eddie Robinson, coach defensive line here at Knoxville County. Been a fan, played football here, and wouldn't want to be no other place but than here.
My name is Lucius Henley, and I played for Knoxville County back in the mid-70s, and I'm just glad to be here.
Okay, Coach Robinson. Can you tell us a little bit about your high school career at Knoxville County?
Oh yes. Well, I originally from Macon, Mississippi. Grew up in a new neighborhood called Baptist Hill here in Knoxville County. Started playing football at BF Liddell from 6th through 8th grade, and then got a chance to go to high school from 84 through, and I graduated in 87. I played high school football as a middle linebacker. I played tight end. I was highly recruited in my year of 87 coming out. I went on a lot of different recruiting trips, and I ended up choosing the school. School of my choice was Alcorn State University.
Okay, now, how did you enjoy the recruiting process?
The recruiting process for me was very, very fun because my head coach always took me on my recruiting trip. Therefore, I wasn't able to drive myself, so I enjoyed the adventures going with him. And we went to Ole Miss, we went to Mississippi State, Southern Miss. We ended up going to Memphis one time out of there. But the recruiting process was a lot of fun. I got a chance to mingle with a lot of kids from Louisville, Starsville, West Point, Columbus Lee, and Columbus Caldwell. So I cherish that experience of being recruited here in Knoxville County. One of my most special moments, I was labeled as a top 30 athlete in the state of Mississippi. I was number 13. I played middle linebacker. So it helps me a whole lot when I got a chance to go to some of these other schools, and I competed against some of these guys who was being recruited with me.
Okay, now the recruiting process then versus now. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because we got guys that's being recruited right now. Something that may help them one way or the other.
Well, the recruiting process for me was you had to do your own homework. A school that you was interested in, you had to sit there and write letters and wait on a response. The process now, you can highlight your films and all that good stuff on YouTube, game films, put them on Huddle. The new process they got going on with Huddle. It's so easy to get attraction when you put a highlight film on something like Huddle versus when we was in high school, we had the camera action rolling type thing. Yeah. So it was very hard. We didn't have access to get coaches to rerun the camera just to put a highlight on. Like I said, our literature was the better you came off writing a letter, the faster you would get a response. If your letter wasn't up to par, you might not get a response. So I think that part was a lot challenging because it helped us as a young man to keep your literature going, everything that you learned from high school while you was in high school. It helps out a whole lot with the recruiting process back then. And like I say, they tell you all the time, if you never had something, you gotta do something different just to get it. So, and I tried myself to do that. With my mom and dad not having the education to help me, but they was great parents to me. So therefore, I think we did an outstanding job as a family in my process of being recruited to Alcorn State, and where I ended up committing to and going for 4 years.
Okay, well, before you chose Alcorn, who were you leaning to?
Before I chose Alcorn, I was leaning towards Mississippi State. It was close. It was close by. I know my mom and dad could get to Starksville with no problem. I know Alcorn was one of those trips when I did go on a recruit trip. It was almost 4-hour drive, and my mom did not like those long rides. So therefore, I said to myself, I'm going to try to make Mississippi State my home. But it didn't work out for me the way I anticipated, because the couple of times I went up there and I saw how I was being recruited, I shied away from a lot of things. So because the town that we grew up in, I never saw white people play sports in Knoxville County. And by me being recruited by a place that had a lot of white athletes, that are good white athletes, I just thought it was best for me to go to a school who my aunt too went to, and she was big on legacy. So that's how I ended up changing my decision going to Alcorn State.
Okay, and at Alcorn, how did that process go?
That process went well. I went down as a freshman, and like I say, I was ranked in the Super 30. I got down there, and I played lights out ball down there. I guess because when I looked up in the stands, I saw my mother and father in the stand. It's just something about when you see mother and father in that stand, you play at a different level. I remember my head coach, Theo Danzy, told me, he said, "Hey man, you need to tell your mom they need to come to every game. If you're going to play like this, we got to have, if I got to go up there and drive them back down to Lawrence, Mississippi, that's what I'm going to do." So I really think that, your mom and dad should be at every game, because the way you played these last couple of days, man, these last couple of games with your parents present, I'm really excited about your future.
Yeah, I was able to get down and see you play too, so the playing lights out, no doubt, man. You look really good out there. But now the process of recruiting, when you signed with Alcorn back then, if say you got there and things wasn't what you thought, then in order to transfer, you had to sit out.
Right.
So now the portal has freed people up.
Right.
Which I thought it should have been that way all along, because coaches can come and go whenever they want to. But players was held to a different standard.
Right.
So, I'm really happy to see the portal. It shakes up football. Personally, I think Coach Saban left Alabama because of the portal. Losing players. See, before he used to be able to set on players. Some players you wouldn't know who they were until their junior year, but you can't do that no more. You got these 5-star guys. They go there and they want to play.
Exactly.
And if they're not playing, they're not going to sit. They're getting out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on that process right there, man, it's different, and it's better in a sense because because you actually get a chance to pay college athletes, something that they wouldn't know in a while. All the thing they want to give you is the education, and they'll pay for your tuition and pay all your room and board and all that stuff, which was always a win to me, as long as your mother and father didn't have to come out of their pocket for anything. So I thought that was a big thing. But now in today's world with this NIL, the name, image, and likeness, it's all about how you market yourself. And I tell anybody, if I see him on the street, if closed mouth just don't get fed around here. And for a young man to be able to have the ability to open his mouth and tell, hey, this is what I'm worth, and I've got the highlights to go with it. And from what I've seen, I can compete with these guys on any level, on any day. So I think truly it's good for the game of football. It's good for the game of recruiting. But, like I say, a kid that's hungry, you ain't got to ask him a whole lot of questions. He's going to go fix him something to eat. Kid that's not hungry, he can look in the cabinet and see a whole lot of food, but he's going to wait on his mom to come home to cook it. So it's a big difference than a kid who's got to go out there.
Why do you think a lot of coaches, I got my idea, but why do you think a lot of coaches get to the portal? And I'm going to let you answer first.
From my knowledge of the portal, I think a lot of coaches get the portal because you have a lot of kids who form comrade, form a bond over the summer, and they get a chance to meet a young man who's going through some of the same thing that they're going through. And then, it's like, okay, if, say, me and Mary Henley saw something and our idea was the same, and I would come to Mary and say, hey, man, what if we put this idea together and we go here, we can just blossom and go from there. That's why I think the portal is good, but it is a disadvantage to some of the coaches because it's so easy for a child to leave and go somewhere else and get the same amount of respect he had with this new team than he lost with his old team.
Yeah.
that's so true, and you want consistency, and you got guys this year, but you don't know whether you're gonna have them next year.
Right.
You know, because a lot of guys want to play. You know, some guys they fine with taking a red shirt. You know, maybe I need this, and it's gonna help me
Right.
better prepare and get in the books and get that going too. But a lot of these guys, I remember. I think it was Bosworth. He was talking about he wouldn't go into class.
Right.
And he
Brian
said,
Bosworth.
Yeah, he said he was
Yeah.
majoring in football.
His job was to hit somebody. You know?
That's right.
Until he actually got trucked by Bo Jackson
Yeah.
at Auburn. You know?
Yeah, but
that
that-
ended his career real long. You know, in NFL. You know, that ended his career. So
Exactly. But you said something early on the last question. You said about writing a letter, how important it is to be able to, you know, excel in the classroom as well.
right.
You know, you can't just leave that off. People will come, and when they look at them grades, no matter how bad they want you, when they look at them grades, they're probably going to back off.
Exactly.
So it's very important to keep those grades up.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what you said, Mr. Henley, is like I tell my young men all the time. I say, man, coaches come here now. They want to see what you did from 7th through 10th grade, because it's easy for you to grow up and say, okay, I got to go out and get my books in my junior and my senior year because I want to graduate. I don't want to be left behind. But like I tell all the children, you know, in order to keep the highly recruited kids. When them coaches come down to your campus and they go talk to your guidance counselor, they're going to be, hey, I want to see what his grades was when he was in the 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. You know, and if his grades are like they are now in the 11th, 12th grade, it's no problem for me to bring him on to give him a $100,000 scholarship to come to my university. You know, because that's about what it costs now to go to any school for 4 years. It's going to cost you right at $100,000.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad, but it's good too, because as young men explore their options, sometimes they choose the wrong option. You know, and that's why I think I come in a lot, because I talk from experience, and I don't want no child to go down a road that he don't need to go down, or he don't deserve to go down. You know, but sometimes when you don't have nobody in your back or in your background telling you, hey, don't do this, don't do this, you know, it helps. I mean, it hurts a lot for you not able to talk to somebody, and it's not you're not able to talk to somebody. It's just because they just don't know. They don't know how the process goes. And when you find somebody that knows how the process goes, so you need to listen and try to learn or comprehend whatever he's trying to tell you, so you can continue your career of this is what you choose to do in life.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to another former Knoxville player, and he said when he went to college, not the junior college, when he went on to the 4-year school, he said that if he walked from one place to another, the coach was on him. And so one day he just went to the coach and said, Coach, said, I'm doing everything you asked me. Why are you so hard on me? He said, because, he said, you look at those guys over there. He said, they ain't going nowhere. They don't have the talent level you got. He said, I'm on you because I know you can do better.
Right.
And he said from that day forward, he never asked another question. He just went out there and did the work.
Exactly.
Yeah. So every time a coach get on you, it's not a bad reason that he's on you. It's because he sees something in you that the light bulb hadn't went off yet. You don't see it yet.
Right.
So it is very important that you listen to your coaches. And I know probably at most schools, and I know at Knoxville, we got a lot of coaches in the stands. And JT posted something. He said, no coaches, however he put it, he said, did no coach have nothing to do with us losing the ball game? So for him to do that, that means he's been hearing a lot of stuff in the street. And at that point, you know, I think, you know, grown men, you can criticize grown men if you want to, but don't ever criticize young men out there, because we're there, you know, all the excitement of Friday Night Lights. I mean, personally, I don't think there's any other place in the state that as exciting as Knoxville County on a Friday night.
Exactly.
You know, I just enjoy it, you know, the atmosphere there and the love of the fans for the players. And sometimes that love for the fans, for the players, kind of carry over a little bit too far, you know. But I mean, I totally understand where they're coming from, but we just have to allow the coaches to do what they do and support them. And support them, you know.
I got another question for the coach.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, my next question is, this season over with, what do you think we're gonna look like come the next season in 25?
Oh, the next season is very, very hopeful for us. I mean, I'm promising for us. I mean, we lost some key players. We lost Eric Ko, which is our leader, which is Kamari Taylor, who's committed to Mississippi State. But with the senior class, this senior class did very, very well of stressing their point across of doing the Knoxville County tradition. And so I look forward to this up and coming year because we have a great group of guys that's coming back. We got a lot of talent on the defensive level. I mean, we're going to be young on some part of the skill position at receiver and on some part of the offensive line because we're going to have to get 2 young guys to replace the 2 seniors that we lost. So, but I think this up and coming year is very promising. I can't see anybody stopping us, you know, anybody pretty much getting in our way for this up and coming season. Like I say, those guys have bought into the program. They know what to expect. And my thing is, like I always tell a young man, hey, trust the process. The process is like when you got somebody that's telling you how it's going to be versus you want to do what you want to do, it's a totally different. So I'm big up on this up and coming season. I see big things for Knoxville County. I see big things for the coaching staff. I see big things for the fan and the community. So I'm very, very hopeful for the up and coming season though.
Okay.
Let me say this though, to our fans. You know, we've had Camario all these years. Now Camario is moving on. So don't expect the next quarterback to be Camario. You know, sometimes we get spoiled when you got, you know, a great quarterback. I mean, everybody's recruiting him. You know, we kind of get spoiled sometimes. But let's not be too hard on the guy coming behind him because he's not Camario. He's got to develop his own lane because more than likely that person, I don't know what Coach Young got in mind, but it's probably going to be a young guy, and he's going to have to find his way. Right. So let's be nice to him. Let's support it.
Coach, I'm going to ask you a question. My uncle and I was sitting in the stands together during that game, and they I think there was a reverse or something that they ran with Cunningham. In 17, he came and blew him up. And I told my uncle, I said, look, this guy is not going to be right the rest of the game. What's that right?
You was very right.
That was right.
17 was his Cameron Smith came up and hit him with a lick that I don't think he's going to forget. And even though he got a chance to win the gold ball, we did. Hey, kudos to him, but he's going to remember that lick for the rest of his life. He's going to get a chance to go up there at the University of Ole Miss where he's going to be attending in January. And he's going to tell folks, man, he wouldn't want to play that game again against Knoxville.
Yeah, he seemed to be a little out of it, and I was just trying to see if I was, you know, looking at things right, because he hit it.
Yeah,
he hit it.
He did textbooks. That's what we practiced every day. And we go through tackling drills. We go through position drill. We put them in scenarios where they're actually going to have a chance to think about things. And sometimes, like I say, we give guys, like my group of guys, I send out all scouting reports to D-line that I studied on offensive line guys. So I can tell them, okay, when you get them at catch his feet at this position or catch his hand at this position, he's pretty much going to hit you with a zone block or a read block coming from the opposite side. So all you got to do is pay attention to details, and you'll be able to prepare yourself for the situation, because we go over this stuff every day.
Yeah, and that's so good that that our guys, I think it just looked like they was all together. They was all in. It's not like, you got a couple guys standing over here. They was all in. And I thought JT was a little hard on a guy one day, but then I said, but then JT go up and then they all hugging, so that's good, because he know that he was trying to correct him in love. It wasn't nothing he meant.
Right.
But I said, man, JT's a little rough on him. It was a freshman, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, but JT, he support those guys, man, and he want those guys to continue to develop, because, man, you're talking about the price of college, like you just said, and there's a lot of parents that can't afford that.
Exactly.
So then, if the kids go, they got to take out all these loans,
Exactly.
and then you come out of school, you way in debt, so and then like track is coming up. The kids that don't play football, if you got a little speed, come out there, show what you can do. You never know. You may be one of the fastest guys in the state, or girls in the state.
Right.
So it's just try to do whatever you can, get involved, and earn some money, because most of your parents ain't got it. My kids, all three of my daughters graduated from college, but they graduated with debt. I did what I could do, but I could not pay all three girls to graduate.
I got you.
Yeah.
Coach, another question. It appears that, going back to a question that you answered a minute ago, it appears that you say how the kids identify with certain things when they go on these recruiting trips and things. Why? It appears that Coach Sanders is kind of dominating that portal a little bit, or that recruitment portal right now. Why do you think that's happening? Is it because of them being identifying with his philosophy, or him being the Hall of Fame player that he was, or a little bit of both of those things?
I think it's a little bit of both of all that things. But you have to realize, kids that here play in the Golden Triangle area, they've been knowing one another since middle school. And they form alliance together. They know, hey, if I could get you two guys to come with me and we can form an alliance, we're going to be held to dominate, because I know you're going to have the defense side, I'm going to have all the defensive line side, you're going to have all the cornerback side. So kids do the same thing. They pay attention as well. Some of them, you think they're not paying attention, but kids always, every kid, I think, want to be a winner. And if he missing a couple pieces, and if he can help recruit his pieces to make his school, it makes him look just that much better as well. I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
So, Coach, my next question is, we back in the North this coming season. So, are you excited about being in the North, or you much rather stay in the South?
That's a very good question. I'm very, very excited about being in the North, because the trip's going to be a lot shorter this year.
And the road's going to be straighter.
We won't have to take these 2.5-hour trips just to go play a ball game, where it's so hard. You have working parents out here who just can't make that 2.5-hour drive just to see a kid play football. And they show a lot of love, show a lot of support for all those things. But, the thing that I'm very... tradition and legacy type guy, I would have loved to win the South and then come back to the North and win it the opposite year. There's just that this small school that I attend, this small school that I work at, part of the coaching staff, that we're a very, very dominant program, and what we're doing here, it stands out. We can play in the North and win it. When the last time we left the North, we was the North State champion, and we played in the Big Dance, which was the the championship against Riley, and then we went to the South for the past 2 years. We beat every school down in the South. They said we can't do the wing tee. Every school down in the South ran the wing team. We had our coaching staff gel together at crucial time, and we put stuff together, long hours, hanging out at the field house, getting game plans together, rehearsing this, and we prepared those young men, and they stood up like true champions for the South these past 2 years. We went to the South. We won the South State Champion 2 years in a row. I'm looking forward to going back to the North and winning the North State Championship.
Okay. Okay, we've held Coach for quite a while.
Yeah.
So if there's no other question, Coach, I'd like to thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And I think you gave a lot of good insight into the recruiting process, the attitude a player should have, and the academics. I mean, I think you touched on all of that. So I just appreciate you coming and sitting in with us, and we'll do it again sometime.
Well, sounds good. And like I said, I want to piggyback. I want to thank Coach Young. I want to thank the principal at the high school, Miss Asia Brooks. Them for believing in me, giving me opportunity. So I cherish the opportunity, and like I said, I look forward for bigger things for us in the upcoming future in 25.
Yeah, and take a knee. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay.